All right, today's Thursday. I've decided to switch around what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to do the lowest terms today, and then tomorrow can be the wrap up where we do some problem solving with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions with mixed numbers and putting the answers into lowest terms. Lowest terms just means that we've broken it down into its most compact number. For example, if I have 1/2, I know I can write 1/2 as 4/8, 16 over 32, 25 over 50. All of those fractions equal 1/2, but 1/2 is the answer in the lowest terms. And the reason we like dealing with lowest terms is it gives us the smallest numbers to deal with. So this brings in the greatest common factor that we did in the fall. Remember, we did lowest common multiple and greatest common factor together at the same time. Factoring is where that multiplication chart's really going to come in handy. If you take out your math rule book, if you forgot to bring it home, you can easily print one off the internet, or you can just keep one open in a tab at the top of your computer so you can refer to it. Because when we're factoring, we're breaking a number down into the numbers that multiply together to give us the answer. Remember, a prime number only has 1 in itself. Well, for question number 1 here, I'm pretending I'm not worried about how I got here. All I'm going to worry about is that I have an answer of 16 over 20. So, first thing I need to do is factor 16. That is 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 3 doesn't work, 4 times 4. Remember where we did the little smiley face. So to put these in order, I have 1, 2, 4. I can write down the 4 twice, or I don't have to. 8, 16. Those are the factors of 16. Now I'm going to do the factors of 20. 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 does not work, 4 times 5. And again, I know I'm finished because there's no numbers between 4 and 5. So my factors of 20, I do the smiley face. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. If I look at this, I'm looking for the biggest number that appears in both brackets. 1 I'm not concerned about. 2 is a common factor. 4 is a common factor. And that looks to be about it. So which of these is the greatest? 4 is the greatest common factor. So I'm now going to, I'm just going to get rid of this. I got a bit ahead of myself. I'm going to take 16 over 20. I'm going to take that greatest common factor, which is 4. I divide top and bottom by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So, in lowest terms, 16 over 20 is 4/5. That's all there is to do in terms of lowest terms. Let's try another one. And the reason I chose the one that I erased, that I'm going to write down here in just a second, is that we have to remember that any number can be the greatest common factor. So here I had 33 over 44. And I'm going to factor 33. Well, I know that it's 1 times 33. 2 doesn't work because 33 is not an even number. 3 works because we have 3 times 11. 4 does not work, 5 does not work, 6 does not work, 7 does not work, 8 does not work, 9 does not work, 10 does not work. So for my smiley face here, I have 1, 3, 11, 33. Going to do the same thing for 44. 1 times 44, 2 times 22, 3 does not work. Maybe 3 does work. 3 into 44 goes once. No, it does not. Then I do 4. 4 times 11. 5 does not work. 6 doesn't work. 7 doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. 9 doesn't work. 10 doesn't work. We know 11 works. So smiley face. 1, 2, 4, 11, 22, 44. I look through here and I only have one common factor, which is 11. So that has to be the greatest common factor. Divide top and bottom by 11, and I end up with 3/4. This is where that greatest common factor comes into play. Use your multiplication chart to help you. Finally, when we change, for example, let's say we had 26 over 7. And I want to put that into lowest terms. Well, I do the exact same thing that I've done before. I need to change this improper fraction to a mixed number. I know 7 goes into 26 3 times. I subtract 21. 26 subtract 21 is 5/7. I know that 5/7 is lowest terms because 7 is a prime number. So is 5. So I can't make them any smaller. But what happens if I ended up with 3 and 15 over 20? Just putting it into a mixed number is not making it in lowest terms. I still have to go through the process of factoring these. So 15 is 1 times 15, 3 times 5. 20 is 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. Do my smile. 1, 3, 5, 15. Here I have 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. I see that 5 is my greatest common factor. I'm going to divide top and bottom by 5. So I get 3 and 3/4. Probably the most tedious part of fractions is putting it into lowest terms. But I guarantee you, grade 8s, especially once you hit grade 9 math, they are not going to be happy unless you put that into lowest terms. Grade 7s, you will also be expected to be putting everything into lowest terms. So we may as well start practicing now. I think it's a concept everybody can handle. So today was fractions in lowest terms. If you have trouble with it, don't worry. I'm more interested in knowing that you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions, that you understand what you're doing and what those functions mean. That when we multiply, we're breaking things into smaller pieces so our number gets smaller, which isn't intuitive to us. We think multiply, get bigger. When we divide fractions, we're actually finding out how many individual pieces we have, which means our answer gets bigger. These are really important concepts because if you're going to estimate and have an idea of what your answer should be, you need to understand that if you're going to divide in fractions, your number is going to be larger, that makes sense. If you don't understand that basic concept, if you try to estimate to see how you're doing, you're going to be thrown right off. So we're going to work through, you now have these videos. That's actually one of the benefits of this online format, is that you can go back and watch the videos from last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and from this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday. And you can look at that lesson again, whereas in the classroom, it's kind of a snapshot. You see me once and it's gone. So I hope this is working out well for everybody. Tomorrow is just going to be a review, and then I will do an assessment of some sort next week. It's not going to be, your usual math test that you've seen before. I want to make it a little bit different. It might be a bit of problem solving. It might just be some general questions just to see how you're doing. Again, it's from looking at your daily work, from interacting with you, and from how you're going to do on the assessments, that all of that's going to come together to create a mark. So again, no stressing about any sort of assessment. Show me your best work every day. If you have questions, ask. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.